Good morning, my friends. It is 8:15 in the morning, and isn't this... apart from that, isn't this a change to yesterday? It's a bloody gorgeous morning on Skye. We're just getting packed up now. We're going to be saying goodbye to James this morning because he is going to go off out to the Outer Hebrides. So once we've said goodbye to him, I'm going to try and do some of the stuff that I wanted to do yesterday but couldn't because of the rain. And then we have to get a ferry later as well from Armadale to Mallaig, and that's at 3:15. So we've got about 7 hours to work with. And I think we can get a fair amount done in that time, depending on the conditions of the roads, because that is slowing everything down. Here's James making his coffee for the day. Smarter man than I, because I didn't bring a flask. Right, here we are then. We're ready to get going. I'm leaving James here because his ferry isn't for half an hour, and I've got to make some ground today. Right, I'll see you in a few days, man. Take care. Right, and we're off then, leaving James behind. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. Our first stop today is the Skye Museum of Island Life, I think it's called. There we go, that's the port town of Uig. And there's lots of sheep. I feel like a shepherd. Come on, little one. It's another thing that's going to slow us down. Silly little lambs. Skye is beautiful in the sunlight. Oh shit, that's another hairpin. Sheep. Wow. Incredible view. This is a different island with the sun. I couldn't fall in love with Skye yesterday. I think I'm doing it today though. Here we go, Skye Museum of Island Life. It's a lovely little site. These old-timey hoes. Hand hoes as well. I'm not sure they were for carts, for horses rather. Wow. That just scared the shit out of me. Wow. Got some old bagpipes and a little fiddle violin come thing. Wow, this is really cool. The last couple to occupy this house. So this is a legitimate, this isn't a rebuild, this is a legitimate, bona fide, old-timey house. Look how cute this bedroom is. Of course, the Macintosh. Oh, and the kids' bedroom, maybe? Someone's bedroom. Now this, apart from all the singer machines, which are very impressive, this is where I could spend a lot of time. So that's the first house. Go into this one here now. Wagon wheel. So this is a young Highlander, circa World War One. That rifle, bro. So this looks to be the war room. Oh, we've got some geology there. We'll look at that in a minute. So I'm just reading here, while in World War II, while everyone else was undergoing rationing, they had rationing here, but being an island community, they were really self-sufficient. So it's saying here they had mutton, potatoes, vegetable, fish and dairy that all came from their crofts. So much so, they would send eggs and cheese out to relatives in other cities to help. So they didn't feel the effects of rationing so much here. But yet there were still many men lost, which of course the community grieved for. But for many who had no link to the war, it was something that was happening in a distant land. Cool, so let's have a look at the geology. So we have the Louisian gneiss that we found up in the north as well. So very similar rock. And again, some of the oldest rocks in Europe, 2.8 billion years old. It's insane. So back home, I bang on about rocks that are this old, that are the oldest rocks in England. And yet these are orders of magnitude times more. That's interesting. There's a massive gap in the geological record right through the Silurian, the Devonian, the Carboniferous, and this was when trees really started to get their start, and the Permian. I'll do a slow scroll of this if you want to stop and read any of it. So yeah, just like the rest of Scotland, this place has a rich geological history. This is the Old Man of Storr. I wanted to go there yesterday, but I stopped there, but I didn't walk because it was so rainy. It would have been miserable. I wouldn't have been able to film anything because it was raining so bad. I wanted to do that today, but I've got a ferry to catch later. Anyway, I've got a grindstone there, so I imagine this is the workhouse. Yes, the forge. So this is will be a load of peat that they'll have used to help with the fires and stuff. Look at all these saws. Wow. And again, about the self-sufficiency. They could just look after themselves here. This charming gentleman. And there is a big set of bellows. Gallows, idiot. Oh, the postie! A local shop, a lifeline for crofting families. The confectionery and stuff at the back. Oh, I didn't notice my lady there. Hello. It's interesting to think that even such a small community as this still has a post office and a shop. Look at these boats. So this is the same construction. I forget what it's called, but this is the same construction method that was used on Viking longships. It was so effective, it was used for hundreds and hundreds of years, with a single keel going all the way, and then these overlapped planks. It's what made the Vikings so formidable on the seas, because they could create these fantastic hulls that were just, they would cut through, and they were watertight and everything you needed. And of course, out here there was a Viking presence at one point in time. So, may well be a remnant of that. What have we got in here? The spinning room. Oh, of course, being crofters and raising sheep, spinning wool was obviously a big thing. Yeah, got the shoemaker here as well. A village shoemaker. So this appears to be the stables, because we've got a load of bridal equipment. Ooh, potato hook. Huh, never knew of such a thing. Ooh, a big potato hook. Coming soon to a Minecraft server near you. Kernstone, so grinding oats, yes. Big old kernstones. What I found really interesting about this place is the self-sufficiency during the Second World War. It never occurred to me that these island communities probably didn't feel the pinch quite as bad as the mainland, because they're used to the self-sufficiency. And why would you want to move to the mainland with a view like that off the sea? It's just nuts. It's a very low door. Oh, wow. Yes, boy. So, here we go. This is how far back life on this island goes. To the Mesolithic. To the Middle Stone Age. To the New Stone Age. To the Bronze Age. Iron Age. And look at this. Beautiful stone. Pictish stone. And then, of course, we've got the Vikings with a couple of hatchets there. So these will have been utilitarian and not really used as weapons unless you were a commoner. If you were using an axe for battle in that period, you'd use something called a skeg axe, which is a little bit like this one here with the hook, but the hook would come all the way down. And it was used for hooking round a shield and bashing it, getting it out the way so you could get in with a second strike. And just all the way. So there's so much history on this island. Going back 300,000 years. To when Skye actually became an island. And this is a painting by Angus McPhee. Depicting Bonnie Prince Charlie turning his back on the Highland supporters as he departed for France in 1746. This is such a fascinating place. So all the rooms done though. I didn't spend quite as long as I wanted to here, but we've got some ground to make today. I wanted to do this yesterday, so we'll just be cracking on. And wasn't that a magnificent little museum? I'm really glad I stopped in there. So we are here. So I'm just reading the information board here, and it says that these coral beaches are formed by the bleached skeletons of red coralline seaweed, which grows 1 millimetre per year and is very long-lived, with some beds thought to be around 8,000 years old. Makes this quite a special place. Let's have a walk down and see what this beach is about. So when you park up at the car park for this place, the beach is still a roughly 20-minute walk from the car park. My pace is about 15 minutes, we'll see. As you come down this path, you get this view out to sea, those cliffs. Land in the very distance. Gorgeous place. And here we are, arriving at Coral Beach. You can see how it changes from stone to sand. Or not sand. It should be bits of coral. There's definitely some bits of coral in there, that one. That's coral. That's coral. All these little bits. Look at this, isn't this an interesting structure? There's coral everywhere. And this looks a bit more like a bivalve shell, but you can imagine a time not so long ago when this was still part of the mainland. In fact, you can see just there's a break in the water. I bet that was a land bridge at some point. You can see it much clearer. This handful. All those different little forms. And it doesn't feel like stone either, it feels like something else. Everywhere you look. This is really cool, I've never seen anything like it. And it feels different, like underfoot it feels different, in your hand it feels different. Right. Like this. I'd have looked at that and thought that was a bivalve shell, but you pick it up and well, you can hear it. It's almost like sounds like pottery or something. Oops. And then you look on the inside and you've got all those. Now I have to wonder if they're like polychaete worm casings or something. I'd have thought they were. I know coral does make tube-like structures, but they're microscopic. They're nothing like this. So I'm guessing that's polychaete worms. Unfortunately, I've just got here, but I'm going to have to make a move already. Time is not on my side today, but I wanted to at least get out here and have a look at this place because it's super interesting. It's like a coral beach in Scotland. It's not really the kind of thing that, you know, if you don't know much about corals, you don't think about coral reefs in cold waters, but there you go, they do exist. This feels like a much longer walk than it is because of all the bike gear. Sweating my tits off. We're close to the car now. Is that a car? Why did I say car? We're close to the bike now. We've got 3 hours to get to Armadale. It's strange being on a time constraint for the first time on this trip, really. Every other day I've had hours of time to spare. Today, not so much. But that's fine, we've got quite a lot of ground to cover. Tonight we'll be camping in Strontian, the birthplace of the discovery of the element Strontium. The hills are full of them. So I thought it'd be quite a cool place to go and see. Alright, and on we go. Oh, that's a big pothole. So first stop is fuel. So I'm running a bit low. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that little montage. It's just every corner you turn around. Every corner you turn around, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, look at this view. So I'm here at the ferry terminal. I'm just waiting for a bacon butty, and then we'll be heading across. I was going to say the big blue, but the small blue. Yeah, that's me, thank you. Like that. But yeah, we'll be heading across there shortly. Should be a 45-minute thing. So I'm finding these rocks everywhere, and they're so glittery. Let's see what this is. So there must be a characteristic rock. Maybe this is the Louisian gneiss. I don't know. I need to have a look. So it appears that rock is the other characteristic rocks that I found around here, which is mica schist. And it's those flakes of mica that give it a really shiny appearance or sparkly appearance. That all right for you?
Yeah, I'll just on the side standing in here, okay?
Yeah, no worries. Oh, that poor suspension. I'm saying my poor suspension with all that crap on the back and now getting rivet traction down. Poor thing's taken a batter in the past 2 weeks. Yeah, man, I've had a blast. So we're on. Odie is down there, happily ratcheted down. Oh, it's so exciting, folks. I love ferries. Oh, I don't know where I want to sit. Do I sit at the back? I'm going to the front. I'm not a bad boy, I don't sit at the back. So now we're on the ferry. We haven't set sail yet, that'll be coming soon. Once we're there, we don't really have any other stops. Other than the place that I'm staying, which is a point of interest by itself. So yeah, another hour and a half riding when we get there, and then we'll be set up for the night. And we're away. There's something really special about seeing the mountains from this perspective. So we're off. So I now need to nav into the place we're going to. So this is the lovely little port town of Mallaig. Very charming, like very charming. He thinks I'm a twat for standing on the pegs on tarmac. I'm getting good footage. So we've got 50 miles ish, give or take, to get to Strontian. Not sure what the roads are like. If they're nice, you're about to see a montage. If they're not, then we'll, I don't know, fucking cut to some cute kittens or something. That's... wow! Oh, it feels really piratey and I don't know why. Like Treasure Island type shit. There we go, I am all checked in. And tent field is at the back, so let's do that. And I've already asked about a walk. There is a walk that can be done in an hour and a half. So it's 3:30. I'll see how we go. Well, one of the worst things has just happened. My bracket's just snapped for the GoPro, and I don't think GoMoto can get me one anytime soon. Shit. There's a photographic shop with equipment in Oban, and I think that's going to be my only hope of fixing this issue. I am down that way tomorrow. Well, to get over my camera mount woes, I've come into the woodland here, as I always do. Fucking look at the size of this tree, man. It is gigantic. So we're currently walking in the woodlands in the hills of Strontian. And this is a very special place because it was here in 1790 or thereabouts. Scientists realised that the rock here had some strange properties, and it was so named Strontianite. And then in 1808, Sir Humphrey Davies managed to isolate the element, and because it came from these rocks, it was named Strontium. So it's really quite special. It's number 38 on the periodic table, and it was found right here among all of these ancient trees. So strontium is actually what gives fireworks their red colour. It's also used in medical imaging, so it's quite important there. And it also used to be used in block X-ray. It's not anymore, but yeah, it's a useful little element. So I'm just at the start of this woodland, looking at this table. And it's really interesting. So there's apparently 60 species of tree here, including European silver fir, grand fir, Chilean pine, and North American redwoods. And that's because it was known as the policy woodland, and it was planted by the Riddle family at the beginning of the 19th century, just as a status thing. So I guess we're going to go and see if we can find a redwood. I'd love a redwood. I don't think I've ever seen a redwood before. So what we have here, this is a giant sequoia. So the biggest tree in the world, General Sherman, is a sequoia. So this is the same species as the biggest tree in the world. And it feels like the bark on it almost squeaky. Wow. Oh, that's so fucking big. It just keeps going and going. Insane. So I feel it's kind of important to clarify something in that I'm now gushing over species that are not native to this country, and I've been quite outspoken about invasive species like rhododendron and grey squirrels. Now the difference here is these trees are non-native, but they are not invasive. So they're not something that spreads prolifically, and they're not something that competes for the same niches as other things in our ecosystem. They're not out competing anything or anything like that. They're just living their lives. And that's why it's okay, in my opinion. Unlike fucking rhododendron. Here we've got two magnificent silver firs. Look at them bad boys. Holy crap. That's some big wood. The trees are so fucking big in this wood. There's monsters in here. I mean, it's very, very tall. I mean, thickness. Ugh. It's quite the girthy tree. And they're just everywhere. Silver firs, Scots pines, giant sequoias. All these gargantuan species. And they're thriving in this very mild, temperate West Coast Atlantic climate. Loving life. This woodland really is an unexpected surprise. I often find the wood to go to wherever I'm camped, but I had no idea that this was a planted woodland with all these exotic species. It's such a treat. So many different kinds of tree that I just don't see on the daily. It's sick, man. Right, folks, it's about 7:30 in the evening. And I think this is probably the latest I've ever done an outro. That this is the longest day I've had. It's been a good day, though. I really enjoyed the museum this morning. It was super interesting to see how islanders, have lived throughout history. The Coral Beach as well was eye-opening. It was really, it's really strange seeing a beach that looked like sand and you pick it up and it's little bits of coral. I really suggest going and checking that out because it was a nice walk down to the beach as well. After that, yeah, we got the ferry over, which was fun. I always love a ferry. And the ride from the ferry through to this campsite was phenomenal. Just incredible roads, lovely road surface, absolutely stunning scenery. And then getting here and going up into the hills and seeing where strontium was discovered has been quite a special thing as well for me. Being a science nerd, I don't know, it almost feels like hallowed ground a little bit. The one tragedy is, of course, I've broken the mount for my GoPro. Luckily, it's only the connecting arm, so I've managed to buckle it back in without the arm, but gee, man, I just don't think the footage is going to be any good. So after the first stop tomorrow, I'm just going to make a beeline for Oban. There is a camera shop there, and hope they have the part that I need. I'm going to love you and leave you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Ah, the milking parlour. Hello, milady. Can you see any titties? Yeah, there we go. Cow titties.